Greetings. Welcome back. Welcome back indeed. Alright, so look at that replay time. That's 14 minutes, isn't it? I believe that is a personal record for me for soloing Dark Grid Star Level 9. I believe I tend to hover around the 16-minute mark. Sometimes it goes on to like 15 to 30. Sometimes it goes to like 17 minutes, possibly 18. Depending on how much I, sit around. But yeah, so I was rather on top of things. The old Folgers coffee blessing, I guess you could say, really kicked in. But there are other contributing factors to this, of course. One, there's only one adjacent bomber, this one right here. Yeah, so I didn't have to spend a lot of time knocking out bombers. There's these two over here, but they are part of the planets, and they kind of don't count because I knocked these two out regardless of where these two planets are. And these two bombers are actually in the sector. And that's an easy vengeance situation. So, yeah, a decent spawn. Really good spawn, actually. Um, and also the Colossus sector has spawned as well, which makes it a lot easier to get my vengeance ready and in position because I don't have to start scrounging around to find Serbs to do that, right? So I got the usual, the two typical brawlers and a typical vengeance ship. Good times all around. Let the vengeance ship take on the Colossus sector for its hull. Start knocking out the storms with suspend, as it makes it pretty easy and pretty quick. Rather expedient. Only need to move once to knock one out. It's pretty nice. Knock out the rest of that. Teleport into position. Finishing the rest here. Pretty typical start for me. Really, it's later on is when I start to slack off a bit. But, yeah, okay, first destroyer. Really, really bad position. All the way in the corner, not even the side, the corner of the sector there. Not good for that, because if I try to go for this, and if another one spawns like across on the left side, I might not be in range of that. So I noticed that this brawler was in range with this EMP, so I could just do that since I don't really need EMP until much later on. So went ahead and did that. These two spawned in a decent position for my vengeance to go off. Now, because I was focused right here, dealing with this destroyer, I didn't activate my weapon amplifier. I mean, I tapped it, it just didn't register. And I didn't register that it didn't register. So, yeah, that was a little awkward. And, but by the time I noticed, I already took a pulse hit there. So I couldn't use it now, for example. Luckily, I was just in range of its pulse to get hit with a second pulse and get my vengeance off that way. I am very out of range of either one to use repair drone, so I decided to just use it later. And yeah, so excuse me. So this is a typical start for me, right? Knock out the storms and the sentinels and guardians that spawn with the phoenix, and then just leave the phoenix alone and come back to it later. That was a close call there. Although I guess I wasn't in any danger, but don't want to take rockets to the face. So then I started using the other two bombers to, using the other two brawlers, not the bombers, to knock out the bombers in the lower level planets. Now, I wanted to heal this ship with the bomber here, because there really wasn't any other place to do so safely. So I decided to just delay that a little bit. No big deal. Let that happen. And see, here is where we start to see my expedience, right? So I noticed that this was the only bomber that was in range of this planet here, and that's kind of the condition that is required to actually EMP these fellows. Make sure there's no bomber adjacent to the sector. Well, that is aggro to this ship, so I can EMP and sit on these tanky Serbs rather safely. So I did that really, really early. Normally, I would do this a few minutes from now. After like clearing some adjacent bombers and all that. So yeah, that's pretty good. Gonna let the vengeance ship take out that interceptor and do the same over here. Now I did jump the gun on this one because I didn't see that this bomber was here. So yeah, I didn't want to take rockets to the face there. I could possibly EMP the rockets under the Phoenix shield, but the timing was a little close, so a little too close for comfort. So I decided to just bail and deal with that once I've dealt with the bomber. Got the civilian ships in, of course. Let them civilize. A little late, I must say, but not too late, actually. It's fashionably late, really. Gonna let this brawler knock out the bomber there, so this ship over here can EMP these 3 Serbs with no issue. Let the vengeance ship defend the civilian ships as usual, which is again something I don't really normally do. Normally I'd have a brawler back here, but it's a very fast day, so yeah. EMP that. Distract the bomber a little bit. Want to let my shield recharge so I can take some splash damage without hurting my hull anymore, if I had to. Letting the civilian ships load up here, and yeah, something I should have noted, I should say. The 4 artifacts around this planet were not good. Like, I burned them all for a Restore Extender. And that's all the artifacts I burned across the entire star. And I took the rest home. Now, I guess another factor that made this so quick was that I didn't load every artifact. I believe I left 2 artifacts on this planet because, I didn't really need them. I got the 2 I wanted and then left the other 2 there. Could be wrong. Teleported the brawler here just to aggro or make the bombers launch their rockets. Because looking at this here, with my hull being 4800, there's only really like 2 signals, maybe 1 signal that was in range here. So I didn't want to take the chance of this bomber shooting at the planet and actually landing the shot. So I just let the brawler take the aggro there. Vengeance on there, knocked out 1 bomber and 1 storm. Decided to leave. I thought about chasing that bomber, but I didn't want to risk this ship getting hit with storm darts and all that. So teleported onto the bomber, make it move towards the Phoenix, and coincidentally towards the storm, which let me EMP all 3. Yeah, and that is that. That's the entire star cleared in what? I can't do math right now. See, I was on coffee when I was doing this, but I'm not on coffee anymore, so you can do the math there. But yeah, that's pretty much everything cleared. And all that's left is just to load and, our boost and clear a path for the civilian ships to leave. And of course, sit on interceptor jump gates, of course. But yeah, so I don't know what was going on here. Yeah, see, I was clearing while also managing my civilian ships rather well, actually. I was moving all 3 ships pretty constantly, excuse me. Oh, God. So yeah, I don't know what was going on with the twitchy fingers, but yeah, I got it. It's my new personal best. Curious to see what other records people have. I'm sure you can do faster. Like if you went with three brawlers, I'm sure you could do it a lot faster. Especially if you have like leap on all your brawlers. But yeah, I was doing everything so fast. See, normally like I would just chill. I would sit back, let the brawlers knock out some bombers, and just you know look at the wall a couple of times just to you know because there's no need for this much expedience, really. When you have Red Star extended level 12, really. But yeah, I'm rambling now. That's all.